me? Can you see me? Yay! It says. It's funny because when it goes live, when it says it's gone live, it already is live. So I'm like, I wonder if it's going live. How is everybody? Hope you're doing marvelously well. Hello there in Oslo. Where is everybody? Oh, look at Tom C. Thank you. Yes, 19 likes with 103 watching. Yes, please like and share. Home Mojo's Army. Hey, Clint. Hey, Zach. Lemika, how are you, my friend? Anita, hello. McDSP is on. Thank you. It's always good to have McDSP on there, especially when we're mixing with McDSP plugins. Woohoo! Hope you're all doing marvelously well. Have I said that enough? It is 10, just click 10:32 here on a lovely, excuse me, nice cup of coffee made by Andrew. Andrew, who's our steady cameraman. He's been complimented for his camera work. Hello in Austria. Hello in Lancashire. I love Lancashire. Sunny Colorado. Oh, it's sunny, cold Colorado. Hello, Alistair. Hello, Peter. Hello, Martin or Martine. I don't know where you are. So I'm trying to get your pronunciation right. Yes. Oh, Martin Luxon. Coffee time for you. Yes. Delicious. Good coffee. Brazil. And look. Jet Propulsion Lab. Tullis in the house. Hey, Tullis. Hello in Russia. Hello in Taiwan. Hello in Muggy Gray, Michigan. Virginia Beach. Munich. Andrew has good taste in music. He does. India, Brazil, Utah. There you go. Peru. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing marvelously well. All right, so we were mixing a song last week. Do you remember? It wasn't that long ago, and it was only one. And we were mixing using McDSP plugins. And let's see where we got to. Let's go back to the double screen view. I'm up here. Hey! So let us have a listen. I have not listened to this. What I love about doing this, when I'm doing it in real time, it's still got the same solos left in the way we were listening to it the other day. So let's just listen to where we left off. Ooh, I like that. It's nice coming back. Okay, I turned down the bass a little bit. It was a little too loud. But heck, I love that bass tone. There's a bit of a buzz going on in the bass. I'm on the fence at the moment. I haven't decided what else I'm going to do. I mean, it definitely is a buzz. You know what I mean? Now, the question is, are the other instruments going to eat up some of that? I don't know about you, but if you do get some of the multi-tracks of some of your favorite ever recordings, there's a lot of stuff out there. I think when they did that Guitar Hero, people started obviously taking the individual stems off of that. And a lot of them, when you're soloing and listening to like guitar parts or bass lines or something around, you hear like bzzz. Which headphones am I using? The Blues. These are like mid-price, couple of $100 headphones. I use Beyers as well, and I would use my Beyer 1990s. They are being used presently by Max, who is working in the other room. And I do love my Beyers a lot. They are wonderful headphones. However, it's not probably that fair because they're $699. So I don't think it's fair necessarily for me to be mixing a song live with you guys on $700 headphones, or even my Focals, which are amazing, which are like $1,300 headphones. So I'm going for like mid-price, couple of $100 headphones, so I can give you some real-world experiences. We're using McDSP plugins only, and mixing entirely in the box using a couple of $100 worth of headphones. You can't see it, but we're monitoring through an Audient ID4, which is also inexpensive. The whole point of doing this is to prove you can record and mix music with inexpensive equipment. Yes, they're the Lolas, I believe. Okay, so that's where we got to. I'm pretty happy with those drums. I think there could be a little bit more body on the snare, and this is what's great about coming back with fresh ears. Kick is great. It's got so much air. Yeah, you're right. The NR800 could really help with that buzz. Thank you. I love the snap of the snare. I just want a bit more body. So I've got some compression going on here. Okay, so the compressor there is actually just ducking out. I'm using it to sidechain the kick out of the live snare. But let's get a couple of things. I've got all the snares bussed together here. And I think somebody actually was asking about this online. So this, you see, there's the SST-76 here. Somebody was asking, they couldn't figure out where the 76 was. Well, here it is, SST-76. So let's just get some EQ on that. So all I'm going to do quickly is go, you know, I'm going to go to this retro EQ. Why the heck not? This, I think, will do exactly what I wanted to do, because all I really want is a bit of oomph. So here we've got selection of like 40 to 160. It defaults to 80. Probably go up a little higher. I'm not going to worry about that. You see, when I'm seeing. Here's a good question. Here's a good point. I'm seeing clipping. But I'm not hearing. The transients are so fast. It's not bothering me. Okay, so this is a pretty frequent thing. I want to go in and decide, because I did a snare bus on my live snare, I'm actually going to put, this is what's great about doing stuff live, is you just go, nah, don't want to use that, let's try something different. Okay, I'm going to go in and just pick an old favorite, which would be a filter bank. Can't do better than feedback. I'm actually going to only EQ the live snare at the moment. I'm going to go down, let's start at around about 100-ish. I'd already done an EQ lift on the top snare there. Okay, that might be enough for me. Yeah, it's the Workday release. Sorry, I just saw your comments. It is the Workday release. Okay, that's enough for me for the time being. I'm not going to get carried away. If I find myself going down a rabbit hole, I unrabbit myself. So I just derabbited myself there. All right, so bass. With this song, the main driving thing is, and this is important, is the artist is a singer-songwriter. And he plays acoustic guitar. So this song was driven from this. This is a main focal point. I'm going to be a bit of an arse. I like that acoustic. That's the sound of an Lewitt LCT 340 microphone on my Yamaha LL16. Actually, David has an LL16 as well, so we both have the same guitar. You'll see what I did is I went 50% in the verse, and then when the chorus came in, it panned left 100%, and then it added another acoustic at the other side. Yes, derabbited. I love it already. There are times in your life you don't have to do anything. This is one of those instances. I am being very wary. One of the things about mixing that's really, really important is, remember when we started on this, so if you want to go to the previous video, you'll notice I listened to everything before I started making decisions. And one of the decisions is like, I don't need to compress and EQ everything really heavily all the time. So what's happening here is, like, you'll notice I'm letting this breathe. If I just started to apply compression and EQ immediately, it'll be making this decision that the song needs to be like ultra compressed, and I don't want this. This is going to have that. I'm going to compress, I'm going to EQ things, but I have to choose. So next up is the Nashville tuning. I'm just going to put it in. Did you hear me take it in and out? It's like quite a difference. Yes, Zach was saying, do we add distortion to the bass? I will add distortion to the bass when I'm trying to kind of glue it to guitars, especially if you're using slightly edgy guitars. If you've got guitars with a little bit of grit on it, putting a little bit of grit on the bass is really nice. It just glues things together. And will use distortion and bass in the strangest of situations. It could even be a piano vocal, and you've got a bass on it, and a little tiny bit of grit is a very nice thing. So don't be afraid to do a bit of that. At the moment, I'm not. So that's Nashville tuning. For those of you that don't remember, a Nashville tuning is essentially an acoustic guitar that's just got the high strings of a 12 string on it. My Nashville tuning, I'm looking around for it. Oh, it's over there in the very corner behind the space shuttle. Yes, we're all nerds here, hence the Jet Propulsion Lab and the space shuttle and aeroplanes. And the reason why we all love Colin McDowell so much. He's our king. No, we're all nerds here. We all love this kind of stuff. And anyway, so that Epiphone is basically cheap, to say the least. It came out of a skip. Do you know what a skip is? They call it a skip over here? A trash can, a large trash can in front of a studio. And two of the machine heads were broken off, and it was kind of beaten up. And anyway, even if you go to eBay, you could probably pick up a guitar like that for about $70. A $70 cheap acoustic guitar, put actually electric guitar strings on it, tune it for Nashville tuning and you will get a phenomenal doubled guitar. The cheapest thing you'll ever do. Yeah, what I use is 9 to 42s twice. So the top E is a 9, the B is an 11, and then the G string is a 9 again because it's tuned up, you know, to be a G above the E. So then it goes B, G, and D, all tuned up. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back into some mixing. So look, I wanted to demonstrate some plugins and stuff, but sometimes you don't need to. I think all we should do out of absolute logic is take all of those acoustics. Let's do this. Put them into 31 and 32. Now create a stereo auxiliary, stereo bus. Make that 31 and 32. Call this acoustic bus. And by the way, if you haven't liked or shared yet, please like and share if you can. That would be absolutely amazing. Okie dokie. Down, 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 bow, down, down, bow. Okay. Oh, my computer is thinking about this. It's thinking, do I want to open a plugin? There we go. Oh, I meant to put that. So what I'm doing now is I am duplicating it because we're going to have some fun. Okay, just mute that. Bear with me here. So I'm going to get that ready because we had some fun with this last time. We absolutely love this plugin, so we're going to have some fun with it. Should I go for the ultimate EQ? I don't think I need to. I'm just going to go, much to the chagrin of McDSP, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to use a favorite EQ here. This is for my bus. I'm just going to get slight lift. Let's just go, I mean, it's already defaulted to about 12K. Let's come down to about 6 or 7. Let's widen that a little bit. There you go. Nice. Okay, I'm going to go to the chorus. So I'm high passing, maybe 100. That's it. That was the sparkle I needed. A little 7K bump, 100. If you record the acoustic guitars like I do on the bottom part, remember we put the mic on the... I'll pick up acoustic guitar and show you. Unbeknownst to you, the artist just came in and picked up the LL16 because he's working with it. Okay, so I'm going to use this Tanglewood. Remember to mic there. That's a big part of the sound. I'm micing that part of the body. That's what's giving us that even, percussive sound and making life easy. So all I've done is I've just taken a Filter Bank E606, old favorite, probably the most used EQ we have, and gone and take it to 102 here. And a bit of 7K. That's it. High passing, some of the lows out. It's not a steep high pass. And this is all of the acoustics summed together. Okay. Now, I want to have some fun with this. I want to give it a little bit of dirt. So what's better than giving it a little bit of dirt than using our old friend, the EC300? What is great about this is they just told me that we're going to give this plugin away. Yay! All right. So please like. That would be the first thing. I'm going to create this actually as a new bus. I'll go to 35, 36. I'm going to take the bus off of this here. So 35, 36. In Pro Tools, if you hit Option on it, it will go to 0 immediately. We'll call this Acoustic Echo Bus. Okay, I'm going to have some fun with this. So I'm actually going to mute everything except for the acoustics. Probably start with... The point is like, this is indie. This isn't like pure folk rock. You know what I mean? I want this to be a little wrong. I love when I put something on and it sounds good straight away. So this is defaulted to classic tape, warm tape, clean tape, tiny tape. Let's try tiny tape. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reverse it. So the right is going to be the left is going to be right. So where the acoustic is playing 50%, now the delay is going to be on the other side. Oh, my fault. Mix should be 100%. First thing you should always be doing if you're not putting it on the channel. And I made a mistake. And I noticed I made the mistake because when I panned it, the guitar got louder the opposite side. So now the mix is set to 100% here, which is what I should have done first time. You know I like that. But I want to go, it could be good on the tiny tape. I want to go warm tape. So I'm low passing it. I'm going to add some whoa and flutter, which basically means I'm going to make it a little bit pitchy. So I'm having some fun with it. Let's try the track. I really like this kind of stuff. Now, sometimes this sounds quite wrong, doesn't it? So this is one of the things that I think about mixing that we have to learn and that I have learned over the years is a bit of saturation, delays, some reverb, some modulation, all can do you a lot of good when used subtly. The reality is with a plugin like this is I could probably use this 25 times in a mix. Now you might say, Warren, you're crazy. Well, the point is like, listen to this. If I bring this down super, super low, what I've done is it's a 16th note, so it's in time. I've woed and fluttered it, which means, of course, the tape is varying in pitch. I have low passed and high passed it, so there's not a lot of high end getting in the way, which is a big deal with acoustics. You don't want that percussiveness. I've also brought in some saturation, sorry. So these things are basically making it a little wrong. Now I'm going to turn it down. Okay, now let's go to the chorus. It's adding this little energy. This is something that Mark Ender taught me. We've done it with drums. We should do it with drums again in a second, is just add a little tiny kind of, like some movement underneath. I'm actually going to, before we do anything else, I'm going to repeat this in drums. So what we're going to do is, we've got our drum here. We haven't even bussed the drums. We basically took, so we can take our kick sub here, our all snares here, okay, and let's just create a new one. So let's make this 3738. Now let's take all the rest of our drums. I'm going to come out of group so we don't make any mistakes. I don't want to end up doing what I did on a live stream the other day. Okay, and now we're going to make that 3738. Now I'm going to create auxiliary. Call it, you guessed it, drum sub. Okie dokie. So we'll just fold in all of our drums. What we should have, and this is where good organization is great. Now I need to make a new group. Ah, here it is. Maybe this already exists. Let's have a quick look. All drums. Yes, we already have the all drums group. Okay, so all the drums now are all put together. Need to make it input the same. 37, 38 would help, wouldn't it? That's nice. That's nice. Okay. Don't have to do much else at the moment. Let's do this. Let's create another stereo auxiliary. We're going to call this drum delay. Okie dokie. Let's make this. We'll go to the next in line, which would be 3940. We're going to come out of the drum sub. So any EQ and compression I'm going to do on that drum sub would follow suit. Okay, now let's open up. And you guessed it. We're going to go and we're going to get our, where is our friend? EC300 here. Let's go for something pretty similar. First of all, mistake I made last time, I'm not going to do again. Let's make sure it's 100% mix, like such. I'm actually, for the time being, I'm going to put it on pre-fade, sorry, and then I'm going to turn this sub off. Why is that? So I can hear it. Love it already. See, I'm messing with the width here. Pretty nice. So, put the two together. I'm digging it already. I haven't even done an EQ or anything to it at all. I really, really like that. There's a stereo spread control here as well to get absolutely crazy, but I like the width there. So I can do a little... So why am I doing this? Well, it adds energy. Once the drums come in... Again, we're doing like indie music. We're doing music that has a bit of an edge. It doesn't have to be so pretty. It's got a little distorted delay in that, low down. Throw in the bass. I'm absolutely loving that. Those verses, isn't this verse here? Absolutely dig that. I really do. I'm going to bring it down a little bit on both sources. This is why I was saying, like, I could go down even lower. We could have these just marginally in there. What they do is they add an energy. They add a kind of a wrongness, which is one of the things that everybody is always complaining about with digital recording. How everything is like this perfect kind of digital kind of representation. These are the kind of things I'm always looking for, like especially analog emulations there. As McDSP was pointing out, there is obviously digital delays as well. This is just the one that I went to. You see here you've got magnetic, digital, and analog. Now magnetic obviously being tape. I could go over here for a digital delay, and I can go to an analog delay here. The analog actually is pretty special. We'll get to that in a little bit. It's really good. But anyway, I liked the tape because I wanted that tape distortion. And I've just turned it down a little bit, so it's a little bit more invisible, but listen to what it does. Oh, that sounds good. Sorry. It sounds really, really good. All right. So we're going to do our first giveaway. We're going to do 3 giveaways. And guess what we're giving away? Yes, we're going to give away the EC300. We're going to give away that delay. And we're going to have some more fun with it. But yeah, how ridiculously good is that? And it looks really awesome. So does anybody use this? I think the question I want to know is, like, do you use delays? Have you used delays on things other than vocals, or is it just vocals? So the question would be, what do you use delays for? And it's okay if you've only used delays on vocals or electric guitars, which is pretty typical for an edge kind of part, you know, dang, 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 dang. If that's all you've done, that's absolutely fine. There's been a creative way you've used delays. Now, again, there's no right or wrong answer, and to enter, you just have to answer the question. Have you used delays, and what have you used them on? If there's something fun you want to tell us, like, is there, is there something like, oh, I love using delay on tambourine or something like that? Let us know. So basically, give us a little bit of info on delays. Do you use delay? What do you use it on? And you can say, no, I don't use delay, and still be entered to win this. Thank you. I'm glad you see that I think that I'm excited. This is pretty exciting to be able to do things like live mix in front of hundreds of people and sometimes thousands. It's pretty ridiculous. You could always put an MS plug-in over the end of it if you wanted to. I'm not a big MS fan. MS, for me, is a solution to a problem that I don't have. You know, if I'm mixing my stuff, there's no reason for me to use MS. Mastering engineers use it when the mix has issues. They do not just use it, not typically. Very rarely do I know mastering engineers use MS, you know, unless they're trying to solve a problem. And I think that's important. And the thing about MS to remember is it is messing with your phase, and do you really want to hear that? Okay, I'm throwing in the electrics. Oh, somebody's saying they put it through a guitar pedal, a Strymon. That's great. Lots of people, yeah, using it on drums. Distorted delay on drums. Mark Becker, nice. Oh yeah, Anita uses it on a digital piano. Anita was talking about her digital piano sound, and she wanted to kind of like make it sound less digital. Now that's a good thing about using analog emulations like the EC300. The reason why you would use it on a really pure digital piano source that's like absolutely perfect is what I would do is I would take a delay that's slightly wrong, not like one that's perfectly timed at 16th note or 32 or 8th or quarter or whatever. Take a very slightly wrong one, distort it ever so slightly, and maybe even pitch it, and it will just add very low underneath a randomness that makes the digital piano sound a little less kind of bling, 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 bling. You know what I mean? It gets rid of that kind of like really perfect kind of digital sound. That's where delays can come great. Somebody's saying they like to finish off delay tails on the end of a song. Yeah, I always think of Johnny Greenwood at the end of what track was it on the Bends, where it's like and they pitch it down. Yeah, special. Oh, Sheila won. Yep, fake strings as well, Lisa. Yeah, I use them on that as well. That's where a good analog emulation, especially with modulation as well and distortion, that's where it comes in really well. That's where a delay can really, really save you. And remember, it's doing multiple things because you've got saturation plugins, of which there are plenty. But this, for instance, because we're using it, saturation, here it is. So I can saturate and use a tiny amount of delay that doesn't have to be perfect in time. I think the mistake is we always think of delays as being like a predominant thing, like the edge. You're like, dang, 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 dang. We love that. Or a vocal going, I don't know, no, 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 no. The reality is like delays used lightly in the background, EQ'd, compressed, whatever, but distorted, etc., like we're doing here, and can add so much energy to a track and add that little wrongness that we're looking for. Okay, great. Now I'm going to group these electrics. What's interesting is like this is a big deal. The electrics are a big part of the melody here. So if I go and add all of these here, for instance. Alistair, there's 2 more giveaways. So there's 3 every time we do this. And the last giveaway at the end will also give away a free year inside of the Academy. And you'll get like tons of multi-tracks. Okay, I love that. So this is what's interesting, is like, I love grouping things, but I have to be careful because if I group progressively, like here you see, this is the main guitars for the chorus. Thanks, Alistair. So if I folded that into here, into all these other guitars, what will end up happening is the whole bus will just fold in on itself because you've got some compression EQ on those guitars. The other guitars come in and the whole thing collapses. So you've got to be really careful. Like if I was mixing through a console, I would have to spread these out a little bit. Or, as I would normally do, of course, is I'd hybrid it. And I would allow myself to compress an EQ before going into the console. So let's do that. Let's do 2 sets of buses. So I'm going to bus this first one. So these are the first main electrics to come in the chorus. So we'll call this elect. What I'm doing is I'm explaining my thought process to you as we go. And this is basically, I'm setting up 2 sets of electric buses. So this first one is going to be for the first set that comes in. And I'm going to do a couple of things. So here you see it's accomplishing a lot. So it's down, 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 blum, blum, blum. So it's playing that little lead line. So having this on a separate sub as well is going to be good for us because if we want to push it there a little bit. What is interesting though is I will probably automate EQ. You're going to see why. So if I come along and I go, okay, well, let's do a couple of things. I'm going to go for just my good friend. I mean, why don't we do it this? Why don't we go with the G channel? Let's have a quick look. Okay. The reason why I'm thinking of this is if we go to EQ here, first thing we can do is obviously engage a high pass. We can come up here. Yes, Clay, that's a great question. Actually, there's a video series of the making of this album, and we took one song, which I believe was Conditions, wasn't it, Matt? And there's a whole bunch. Hopefully he's got that in a playlist, and you can see how these songs were recorded. So it would be the playlist of the whole of this recording. We did this whole album, just David and me, and we catalogued it as we went. Down, 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 down. It's about 750. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to... Okay, don't like that. I'm going to go to the octave at about 150, so double it. Let's have a listen to it. It's nice. So that's some quick EQ. So I went down to a little bit over 4K and just got some of the high end. Take the EQ out. Cool. Now let's add in the bass. Just fold that in. So let's just put in the bass. Take the EQ off. You can see how different it is. Oh, and Matt's pointing out, it was side by side, and you can download the multi-tracks. So if you go, and this is free to everybody, you don't have to be an Academy member. See Matt's produced like a pro post up there. Go download the multi-tracks if you haven't already. Not for this song, but for the single from the album, which actually just came out like a week ago and already has 22,000 streams. It's great. There you go. There it is. So what did I do? I went to that sort of fundamental now. That's about 750. But you heard I went to 750 and it kind of got like this. So I went to the octave of it, which was at 1500, and I boosted that. And then I went to about 4-ish and boosted some of that grit. I don't want to get too high. In fact, I could even low pass. See, I'm low passing at 95. Doesn't make any difference. And it's a sharp one. Look at that. It's pretty aggressive. And it's not a problem at all. So I've got nothing above 9K on this guitar. Again, high passing, low passing, hugely helpful. Let's put in the acoustics, which are going to have some shimmer up there. Love it. Let's put the whole thing in. Drums.
And only one me. Stay.
HR824S's are Genelec clones, are 1031s. Really? I never knew that. Is that for real, or is that just a sort of a close? Okay, so now, let's move on to our other electrics. And we decided not to put them into that group, basically because we were concerned that if we dumped them in that group, when the additional guitars came in the chorus, it would have folded in. You've got to be careful. I don't want to. These are all consistently playing. You see here, there's no muting or anything. They're all consistently playing. So they're going to have their own group, which we made 23, 24. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. So we're going to go 23, 24. So this is going to be chorus electric. There you go. We'll just go in there. Let's have a listen to those. Okay, so there's a few things to talk about. Let's actually listen to them individually. So here's the first one. Here's my second. Fold in. When I fold it in, okay, so imagine there's a compressor here. Okay, and I've set up like some compression on my guitars coming in. And then additional guitars are put into that same bus. What's going to happen is those additional guitars are going to make everything louder. Therefore, there's going to be more compression. So an articulated part is going to suddenly disappear because other guitars come in and squash everything down. It's folding it into itself. It's like kind of going... So you have to be careful. So these, you see here, I've got this part that we just worked on. And if I put all of these guitars into that same bus, everything would just collapse on itself. How about that? Does that make sense? Fold in, collapse. So that's why we're not going to do it. Okay. Cool. So that's a bass. That's a bass guitar. It's a bass guitar for a guitar amp on the D string. Okay. Implode. Yes. So fold in, implode, collapse. All right. I'm going to do a couple of things. I love this part here. And as you can tell, I recorded it with delay on it. I'm not going to add any more delay, but I'm going to do a little reverb. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take these two, and I want to do something a little silly. So what am I going to do? I like this idea. So here's the DI. Listen to the DI. It's completely clean. I always print DIs, okay? So we'll pan it opposite itself. So the DI is going to be on one side and the real sound is going to be on the other. Now you're probably all thinking, Warren, you're an idiot. Yeah, I would be an idiot if I wasn't going to do this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a reverb. So let's go and find it. Well, it was right in front of me before. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay. Why am I using the DI? Well, see, the DI is so perfectly recorded, so like no compression, no EQ, nothing. And look and put the reverb on it, listen to it. Now listen to it with itself through an amp pan the other way. Listen to this. How good is that? Come on, how good is that? So that's the DI. That's just thinking ahead. That's just, if I'm always printing a DI with an amp tone, I've got multiple things I can do. I can go and I can put it through an amp emulation and a simulation and all that kind of stuff. I can do all of those things. That's quite all right. It doesn't matter. It took a moment. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. What did I do? That was a default. That was a default. So that was the sound that came up completely. Okay, so now let's listen to it on the other one. I rest my case. See how easy that was to do? Because, first of all, there's no phase issues. They're panned opposite each other. Thank you very much, Justice. So, yeah, it's just simple things like that. Yeah, somebody's saying put it through a Leslie. Yeah, you could do it as well. But just see how amazingly simple that idea was. Now let's throw in the low bass D string stuff. It's just like width. It's beautiful. Ah! Absolutely love it. Just brought that whole section to life. I grew up listening to Peter Gabriel records and Kate Bush albums and all of that sort of, and Queen albums and anything Hugh Padgham did in the late 70s, early 80s. So like XTC, Black Scene, English Settlement. Go back to that period of the late 70s and early 80s and listen to the production. Listen to people that were recording, with Neve consoles, mixing on SSLs and having only 24 tracks of tape and just thinking about printing sounds like that. Go back and you will just, like, it will inspire you. Because now there's so much you can do that sometimes we do too much and we don't think quite so simply. So far there's zero reverb on the snare. Now I think we're in some density. You see how I am mixing the song as I go and I'm not sitting there going, oh, this has to be this has to be that. So what I mean is I'm not deciding the drum sound entirely until I put other things in. Yeah, XTC are amazing. Go back and listen to English Settlement. It will blow your mind. I'm trying to interview Andy Partridge. I've got to hit him back up again. We were talking a few months ago. He's the closest thing I know to a musical genius that people don't talk about. He's unbelievable. Okay, so so we'll make this reverb come into 3738, and what we're doing is we're going to put some snare verb on. I didn't feel like we needed snare verb until now. Now we do. Now I'm going to take a sample here. Let's keep listening. Oh, that one's nice and spanky. Okay, so let's take that one. Make it 4142. Default the send. So everybody knows this, and if you don't, you will now. It's the Andy Wallace trick where you take a sample and trigger a reverb as opposed to using the actual snare itself. It creates more space, more control, and it's logical. Because basically what will happen is I won't have the bleed of the hi-hat and everything else coming through, and I'll have far more control. So, let's have a quick look. I'm gonna see what they've got for us. Let's go for a room, medium room, dark, garage, live room. I'm just gonna hit live room and see what happens. Would help if I had the input as 4142. Here we go. I like it when things sound good straight away. All I'm doing is adjusting the length there. Yeah. All right, I like that. Now, what I'll probably do, maybe not immediately, is I'll probably automate the reverb. Meaning, what is used in the chorus will probably be a lot bigger than what's going to be used everywhere else because it's denser. The reverb will just disappear with all of this stuff in. So if I put in all the guitars and the bass and everything that we worked on now, you're probably going to notice that the reverb just goes, or it needs to be more of at least. Okay, cool. So you see what I did? I just listened to it in context and shortened it because it doesn't really matter what it sounds like when the drums are soloed. It's like, what does it matter when there's instruments in there? So I liked that snare. Frankly, I liked it with less verb on it. Less length of verb, sorry. So here's your verse. Yeah, Tom's saying, yeah, I'm using the sample to trigger the reverb so there's no bleed. What's a Bobby trick? I love Bobby, but that's definitely been around forever. Longer than Bobby. So quick automation. I just basically brought the volume of the reverb down in the verses. I shortened the reverb. Yeah, it definitely sounds better shorter. But there you go, you see. In the mix, it was like, oh, this sounds great, so massive. And then I put everything in and I'm like, you know. That's how this works. It's like not making assumptions and moving quick enough that you're moving between sound sources. You've got the drums, and you throw in the bass, etc. You know, that's really what it's all about. Okay, let's do another giveaway of the EC300. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Where's my phone? Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. Excuse me a second. Okay, so I'm looking. Who has liked and shared? I haven't even checked. Please hit that like button now. We're going to do another giveaway of the EC300. And then the last giveaway, 313 people watching. Thank you ever so much, 314. Please hit that like button now. I see we have 178 likes. yeah, if we could, what do I want to know? I want to know lots. We're always asking about interfaces. We found out, talked a little bit about delays and how you use echoes and delays. What about reverbs? Hey, we're on a reverb at the moment. We'll go back to delay in a second. Reverbs. What is your favorite reverb? Why not? What is your favorite reverb? Have you tried the Revolver? What's your favorite reverb? Tell us about your reverb. What do you like to know? We want to know. There's no wrong answer. If you use a stock reverb, it's okay. It's okay. If you haven't got to a place yet where you're using something like the Revolver and you're still using stock, that's okay. Let us know. Thank you. There's always a dislike when I ask for people to like, because people say, you're begging for likes. I've had people say that, you're begging for likes. It's like, okay, I'm begging. No, when you hit the like button, YouTube goes, oh, people like this, and then they tell people it's there. Okay, all kinds of different ones. Valhalla, EMTs, reverbs. Who uses a Revolver? Have you used it yet? We started using this, I think it was just after the Aerosmith record it came out. And that's when we started using it a lot. Okay. There is one other section here we haven't even got to. It's here. Let's put in these. You can hear Max in the background playing acoustic. At least I can. Okay. Wow. I'm very tempted. I'm going to create its own group, obviously, because there's a whole lead part here. I'm going to have some fun with this one. So, wait, there's 27, 28. So this is the bridge electric. Now, it's massive. However, it's massive. I mean, it's bigger than a big thing on National Big Day. So, a couple of dumb things. Let's just go in there before we have some fancy stuff. Let's get in there and let's just get some EQ taming going on here. So, I think why don't we go and get our G console again? Because I think we're going to do multiple things this time. So let's go to the EQ. Let's high pass the schnizzle out of this. We don't need... Look, I went up to 130. I know there's lots of people who talk rubbish about high passing, but you didn't hear any real difference between the low end, except all of the low end came to life on the bass and kick. I mean, the bass itself, is pretty big. So I think for me, see, what have we got going on here? We high passed at 44. I'm actually going to bring that up to about 50-ish. That's really, even those subtle changes, so I went from 45 to 54, helps the kick come through. These are subtle things, and this is what we're moving all the time. As we're bringing in new instruments and stuff like that, we're sitting there making decisions based on that. So just that helped a lot. I'm actually just tempted to just do this for the heck of it. So even going into, here I've gone 23. So even going into it, that's already done, obviously. Even going into that, I'm not sending too much low end. So this is the bass DI, which is supplying the low end on the bass. Well, exactly. The thing about high passing is that there's this fallacy, this idea that if you're high passing, you're getting rid of all the low end. Actually, it's kind of the opposite, because obviously if all the low end is there, all out of phase with each other, you just get mud. You don't get more low end. You just get more bleh. So your mix doesn't sound fatter. The biggest, fattest mixes is where the kick is blooming and the bass guitar is blooming and the low end on the guitars is just like beautiful and it's all glued together. And you turn it up and it just sounds massive. Now, if you've got all the guitars, all the keys, everything, and the vocals all go blah, 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 down there, you can't turn it up. It just sounds like mud. So you actually sounds like you have less low end. Low end has to be clean and developed. Okay, let's have a listen. Remember to stick around. The last giveaway we are going to do is also going to have a year's membership to the Academy. Well, the phase issue is, George is asking, the phase is when you have lots of instruments with tons of low end that aren't really defined down there. Remember, the low frequencies are these huge waveforms. So if you get like 3 guitars and, tons of instruments, and they've all got this low end that's all slightly different to each other, it's much, much easier to get phase cancellation down there. And then what ends up happening is you get a build-up of this horrible low mids. All right, so we're still listening to these guitars, not in solo, just with everything in. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like come in a little bit in some of those low mids and just pull them out just a gnats. So if we go to like, I don't know, 350, 400. Better already. There's still things I need to do. Let's do our trick. So we're going to do this. What was our trick? Our trick is to take the reverbs. Let's have a listen. So this is the DI. Okay, so the DI of those two parts. And this one. Now, because it's multiple outputs, I'm actually going to do this. So I'm going to take these, rather than put 4 instances of reverb on it, I'm going to conserve our DSP. And this might confuse some of you, so I'm sorry if it does. But I'm going to take 29 and 30. And I'm going to set up a stereo. Here's some acoustic guitar. People are working here in the studio. This is what we do. We work. Remember, I'm not a professional YouTuber. Hence the not so perfect hair and the fact that there's always instruments and music being made here. Okay, so 29, 30. So now it's just bust. Great. Okay. Now means I can just grab Revolver. Just grab our reverb. Now remember, these DIs are panned opposite to the amp signal. pretty massive. Again, default setting. I'm getting the blend where I like it. Really nice. El Lyco. I'm going to throw in the acoustics, the Nashvilles first. Here's the regulars. Really like that. So so now we've got to decide, because it got super big there. Like, it was massive, and we still don't have a vocal in there. What I do is I'll take, especially when I've got a kick sample, I'll listen to it. Let's have a quick listen. Here's the first one. There's a lot of attack on that. I really like this one. So what we can do is like and this is obviously kick subbed all the kicks together. Now, let's have a blend. Let's have a listen to the whole blend. Just going to do this. Simple as this. In these bigger sections, I'm just going to raise it. So I'm going to bring up just over a dB. So I'm bringing this up in the choruses, in the bridge.
Million boys like him. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. Say there's no one else, but I have never been easily fooled. You're breaking my heart again. Honey, there's a million boys like him. You're breaking my heart again, honey.
So what you're hearing there is obviously the vocal, which has no EQ, nothing on it. I'm actually going to raise the kick a tiny bit more. Before I do anything, just a bit. It's coming up a little tiny bit there. Okay, now, another thing I'm going to do. Let's. We've already got some delays going. We've been using the EC300. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to create another bus, and I'm going to call it kick reverb. Okay. Now I liked that shorter reverb on the snare, and I might do something similar to that. So what we can do, and I'll fold this into the drum sub as well, in case we get crazy. But so that's going into the main drum sub, and I'm going to go along, and I'm going to grab a reverb, here. Let's go to. Yeah, we're in the cavern. Okay, that's great, but it's too much. Far too much. Don't need that. So a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to shorten it a little bit. All the kicks together. No, don't want to do that. So I'm not going to take it off the kick sub. We're going to take it off this one kick here. So a couple of things. Let's have some fun. First of all, let's just listen to this only. And I'm going to go into pre-fade, and I'm going to mute it. So I'm only listening to the reverb. So I've gone to pre-fade here. So by muting the sample that I'm triggering it with, I can just hear the reverb. I like that low frequency color there. Throw in this. So the high frequency colors, bring that down a bit. Okay, so what I've done is I've kind of done the Abbey Road to it a little bit. So I've got a shorter reverb, and I've taken the top and I've taken the bottom and I pulled it down quite considerably. So now it's just got the energy. So let's throw all the drums together and have a listen in the chorus. I love it. Okay, firstly, let's put everything together.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted, but now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been these.
Okay, at the moment, it's fine. Let's put it in the verse.
Stop trying to believe that you're sorry. It's so damn fake.
Okay, just as we expected, far too much in that verse. But this is what happens with reverbs: is they just fall down. It's just, you know, once it's into the once it's into the
Only one me.
no, go in here.
Stay, I won't ask you to stay any longer. I won't break down and cry another tear. You got something to say, we'll save it for Heavenly Father. 'Cause I am on my way, no I won't wait here for you. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted, but now you're walking back on.
So quite dramatically. So basically, that helped define the drums, especially the kick. You barely notice it. It just gives the kick drum some more energy. I think somebody keeps suggesting kind of like overly EQing the kick drum. I like the way the kick drum sounds. I think it's important that the drums sound natural enough. This isn't a metal track, and I know there's a lot of people who are used to hearing, but that's not what we're trying to go for here. Here's the drum sound. Here's the verse. And I like it. That's what I like. You know, I'm not going to go for a kind of like metal kick and stuff like that. That's not what this guy is about. You know, it's all about context. I think this is what happens a lot, is we get used to one way of doing it. Like, I don't like that kick drum. People say things like, I like kick drums that sound like this. So that's the problem. We need to grow our experiences and work for what works with the song. Like, I don't have a kick drum sound. I have a kick drum that works with that song. Hence why there's so many awful albums, especially in the late 90s and early 2000s, where every single drum sound, guitar sound, bass sound, vocal sound, of all the modern rock stuff in that late 90s and early 2000s, it was like every album was like tick, 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 and the guitars were like rah, 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 rah. It was all edited perfectly. Every singer was like, I'm perfectly in tune, and the reason why when people go top, 10 greatest rock bands of all time, there's nothing from that period. And it's not the band's fault. It was the production, We have to learn to shape for the song, not just have the way I like kick drums and I like kick drums to sound and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to be that guy, nor do you. You want to be able to have so many techniques. Yeah, Mark says, this isn't a metal song. Yeah, exactly. You need your techniques and you need to, if you're watching this and thinking, well, this isn't my genre, well then get into more genres. Because I mixed Black Veil Brides, I've mixed Aerosmith, I mixed Ace Frehley, I've mixed a lot of modern rock, a lot of old rock, and I've also mixed The Fray and Augustana and James Blunt and stuff. The point is it doesn't matter on the genre. A good mixer will work in everything. Now, of course, if you can be a niche metal mixer or a niche folk rock mixer or a niche whatever, great. However, I don't know many people like that. There are people that are niche, but you really want to be able to broaden your horizons and learn a lot of different things. So whatever sounds good for the song is the most important thing. You're going to sample me as a kick? Poof. Okay, there you go.
Don't tell me again that you're sorry. It's you, not me, that I pity. So when regret comes a-knocking, you know for sure that I warned you. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted, but now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been easily fooled.
Thank you, MC Mohanad. Okay, we're on the last stretch, so let's do our last giveaway. Now this is the king of all giveaways. Thank you all 320 people that are watching. That's marvelous. Thank you ever so much for all the likes. 261 likes. If we can get it up to 323, that would be amazing. Okay, so the vocal is all that's left. Now our last giveaway is going to be an EC300 and a year's membership to the Academy. And there is about, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, there's about 34 or 35 multi-tracks in there. There's also courses with Brad Wood in there. There's courses with me and who else do we put in the list? Basically, there's a lot of really amazing courses. So this is for a year's membership and an EC300. Okay. The question I want to know, and remember, there's no right or wrong answer. I hear you, Brian. I'm Skyping with clients all the time. That's part of our job now. So there's no right or wrong answer. We've talked about reverbs. We talked about delays, and we're going to do a bit of both on this next one, on this vocal here, and of course some EQ and compression. I think I want to know a little bit about your mix bus. What are you doing on the mix bus? Because if you notice, I have done nothing on the mix bus. I have done absolutely nothing. I'm mixing from the ground up. Now, if I am going to put stuff on my mix bus, all you're hearing is that if I am going to do that, Cameron Webb, we have courses for Cameron Webb as well. He's amazing. If I am going to put stuff on my mix bus, it's usually gentle compression and gentle EQ, and I won't limit. Or if I do limit, it's really the last thing I do. Yeah, so what do you put on your mix bus? Nothing. Horses for courses. Let me know. What do you put on your mix bus? Nothing till the end. ML4000 says McDSP. What? You use your own plugins? How strange. Learning to, you don't have to leave the mix bus alone. It's just less is more. Because, look, I understand there's different ways of working. There is the how to get something to sound good. What's that phrase? Tell the people what they want. There's a lot of like marketing done, you know, dumbing down marketing to say, hey, you can look at this, you can mix like this. And I totally get it, because if you're a beginner and you slam your mix bus with compression, EQ and limiting, it all sounds pretty good straight away, because nothing can get too loud because everything gets squashed back down. But unfortunately, you don't learn how to mix that way. And you're not helping yourself. And the way we're teaching here to mix, as you can see, is to go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, going, okay, this thing I've done here, I need a little bit more on my kick. I used to believe I had to build a drum sound that was amazing and then add my bass and then keep adding amazing, amazing, amazing. And now I realize that just isn't the way I work, that I move much quicker by just building it intuitively. And plus, I don't like the music of a certain period that was so, you know, oh, this mixer mixed it. How do you know this guy mixed it? Oh, because it has his drum sound. I don't want to hear the mixer's drum sound. I want to hear the drum sound I recorded. A better version, heck yes. But I don't want to hear, oh, you can tell, blah, 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 mixed this. It's his drum sound. What? What are you talking about? Do you listen to a Queen album or a Led Zeppelin album and go, oh yeah, you can tell that's blah, 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 mixed that song? Give me a break. I want to hear the sound of Led Zeppelin in a room. I want to hear the sound of a band. So that to me is great mixing. So, you know, we have to be really, really cognizant of that. That's our job. All right, cool. Vocals.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted.
Kept it in solo safe.
We both know this love is all.
This is the only thing where you go and you have something in pre like I did. It's going to play when I'm in solo. So that was the kick. Let's go up to the kick. Here it is. Oh, it's not in solo safe there. Do, 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 do.
Oh, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been easily fooled. You're breaking my heart again. Honey, there's a million boys like him.
Cool. Pro Tools had a fit. You saw I basically bypassed and then put it back in and it was okay. All right. So I like the sound of this. What are you using on your master bus? Congrats.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every...
Now, those of you that followed the side-by-side mix and all that stuff will notice that I went in and I used a $299 Lewitt microphone, and it was purely accidental because we were like going to try it out and we put it up and the singer loved it. There's an extended high end that I love, and he doesn't have a lispy voice. Lots of singers like they don't. He got he's got a very modern voice. So I'm going to do a couple of things. First of all, I'm just going to go for a good old fashioned EQ. A little high passing, why the heck not? Say it ain't so, yeah.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted.
I'm high passing up to 120, why the heck not? You can get some body in about 200. Let's have a quick listen and see what that sounds like.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
I'm leaving it out. I tried it just to have a quick listen. Don't like it.
We both know.
Let's go to about 650.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted.
The 650 is very typical for that. We both know this. So I just dipped it slightly.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted.
Infinitely better. I'm going to go to some highs here. I don't need that low pass on.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
Tiny, tiny, tiny lispiness. I mean, like absolutely minute. Do. Let's throw on the de-esser. Actually, what I would typically do, and I should have done this first, is use my de-esser first anyway, just so I have a controlled signal going in, so I apologize for not doing it first.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. We both know this love is all.
5.5K, tiny bout. Great. Okay.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted.
Nice. Okay, so that is really quick, simple EQ. Now, and a bit of a de-esser going on there. Sometimes I'll brine excessively and then add de-essing afterwards. So, okay, let's do a little bit of compression. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Let us go is my old favorite.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
I usually go for a faster release time.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted.
I'm just trying to keep some evenness here.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted.
Cool. Let's go in there and get rid of that excessive reverb we're hearing. See here, it should be at the verse levels, so we don't need it there. In fact, So, dum-dee-dum-dum-dum. Maybe even less. It could be completely dry here.
Both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else but I.
All right, okay, you see, we're working as we go. I don't like the drum delay quite yet that much, so I'm going to bring that down. It's fantastic in that second verse. Let's bring it down here. So it's almost invisible.
Oh, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been easily fooled. You're breaking my heart again. Honey, there's a million boys like him, and only one.
Cool. Okay, there's some automation left on here for some reason, so let's just bring it up.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been easily fooled. You're breaking my heart again. Honey, there's a million boys like him, and only one me.
I love that. Million boys like him, but only one me. Great line. Okay, so a couple of things. I like it. It's sounding good, but let's bus it. So I'm just going to go 9. And we're going to do a couple of things. So I'm just going to create a quick mono auxiliary.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single.
So what am I doing this for? Well, I like to have a master, and sometimes if I got doubles and stuff like that, I have it separated. But I like this idea of pushing into compression and having an extra control. So it's just me. And it's really allows me to do some other fun stuff. So I'm gonna do let's go back to the console here, and let's select some EQ.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted.
It's pretty darn good. I don't really have much of a problem with it.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
Let's put a DS here. Let's bring this one down. Quick.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else.
I don't mind a little bit of grit on that vocal. Shut-da-da.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back.
I mean, Mark, I'm sort of creating automation as I go. You know, because I'm making decisions about putting reverbs and delays on things and then going, it's too much there, bring it down. And it's like, to me, it's like it's a whole process. I know some people like build a drum sound, build a bass sound, put it all together and then sit there and try and make it all make sense. I like to move like this. We're mixing in real time. If you take out me talking and the giveaways and stuff, I've probably done about 45 minutes on this today, and I did about 45 minutes the other day. And we're about 75% of the way there to a finished mix. So it's literally about 2 hours to mix like this. But it's also taking breaks. Somebody just asked, Mark Gamble, how often do you take breaks when mixing? Well, part of this, actually, the good process of us stopping and talking and discussing things is me taking a break. Like I'll stop for 2 to 3 to 4 minutes to talk.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every...
See, here's an opinion. So Facet Puppeteer One tells me the vocal doesn't go anywhere. See, I like this song to be intimate. Not a bit. This one, again, it's all about production. This one, I didn't need, quote unquote, support harmonies, as you put it. I like the intimacy. Sometimes you've got to sort of listen to a lyric in a song. If a song is a guy singing to a girl, it's more than that. It's like the ability to feel, he's singing to her. And sometimes duets don't work, sometimes harmonies. I've done songs with layers and layers of harmony, sometimes doubles, quadruples, whatever. But the reality is I like this to be something that's super, super intimate. You know what I mean?
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking.
One thing I will leave to the end, and which is really, really important, is I might just keep this, get the sound right, do enough de-essing, but then go in and automate the odd S and T. That's something I can do at the end. I can print it and then go, okay, cool, pull out this word, pull out that one. Especially with fresh ears, because the next day or a few hours later and you haven't been working, you put it on and you hear these little tiny details.
We both know this love.
Did I do a lot of vocal takes? We did we changed the Lewitt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we did 8 takes because it's 0, 0 to 0, 7. We did 8 takes to make a comp.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
Just a little bit there, but I'm fine at the moment. I'm going to not second guess myself. Okay, Okay, so let's set up a couple of delays. You can see I have a couple of things ready to go. So let's go. The last but no means least, let's go to, you guessed it, EC. And we're going to go and use the digital. You knew I was going to do it eventually. We're going to use the digital. And we're going to use the analogs. Let's go digital first. And I'm going to set it up to, you guessed it, 8th note, because here it is, 8th note. Let's go ascend here. I think it's defaulted to something I did from a previous session, so let's ignore that. Let's just come out 63. And dum-de-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Oh, because it's stereo, whatever. Okay.
Cause I am on.
Yeah, baby. Okay. Mix.
'Cause I am on.
You know what? I'm going to have to come out stereo. My mistake. I love doing this in real time. You get to see me making mistakes just like every other human being on the planet.
'Cause I am on my way. No, I won't wait here for you.
Okay, so it's a digital delay and it's set to clean. So I'm going to use it like that. I'm going to use it as a very, very clean delay. I'm setting it to pre so I can mute, obviously, here.
No, this love is.
One thing I did make a mistake on is I should put that on the vocal bus. So I'm actually should be sending from the vocal bus, so here it is.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been his only fool. You're breaking my heart again. Honey, there's a million boys like him, and only one me.
I really like that. I like where it just defaults.
No, this love.
I wonder what it's modeled on, because it does feel like the digital delays that I grew up using.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
Just for schnizzles, I'm going to hear what the bit diff does.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on.
That's pretty fun.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
I love this automatic duck.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
Okay, this is a huge feature. And Mike did tell me about this the last time we used it. This is a really, really awesome feature. So let's see if I can see it properly. You see, what it is it's a duck. So it's ducking. So what happens when it sings, the delay is still going on, but it's compressing. And then as soon as he stops singing, the delays turn up automatically. I've got the release set pretty fast. I've got the threshold set pretty aggressively. Have a listen.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on.
It's a really, really nice feature. Because I do that all the time. I sidechain compress my delays. So let's bring it down just a little bit, put it in there, and have a listen.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been his only fool. You're breaking my...
I love that. So I'm actually getting quite aggressive. Now I'm bringing the threshold down even more.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word.
I love that. Really love that. It's tasteful. I'm going to bring it up in the choruses. Bring it up in the choruses, but for the verses it's perfect. I'm just going to copy this down to my other delay. I'm going to send from the same send. Absolutely fine with doing that. I'm going to take it out of pre-fade now. I don't need it on that. But this one, we're going to change. So I'll probably keep, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the analog, which I'm, actually, no, let's go back to pre. Let's have some fun. Let's have a listen. Now, this is set to quarters. So, yeah.
No, this love is all you've ever wanted. No, this love is...
There's some mute automation written in here. Let's get rid of that. Okay.
We both know...
Wow, I love where it defaulted.
This love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back. You say there's no one else, but I've never been his only fool. You're breaking my heart again. Honey, there's a million
That's going to be pretty wild. Let's have a listen to it in context.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been easily fooled. You're breaking my... We both know this love is all you've ever...
My artist is here, so we're going to finish. Now come in. This is real world. We're going to finish up. Sorry, we're just streaming to lots of people.
Awesome.
But the artist is here. This is real world. We always talk about how, like, I'm not a professional YouTuber, but I actually make music for a living. So I will answer this last question, though. What's the difference between analog and digital delay? Well, analog was analog. It was a version. It was, how can I describe it? Digital was the birthplace of kind of a facsimile. This is going to be my naive description. Digital was like almost a facsimile, and analog was an interpretation, like tape is an interpretation. There you go. There'll be a better explanation from Mike in 2 seconds.
We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been easily fooled. You're breaking my heart again. Honey, there's a million boys like him, and only one me. Stay, I won't ask you to stay any longer. I won't break down and cry another tear. You got something to say, well save it for Heavenly Father. 'Cause I am on my way, no I won't wait here for you. We both know this love is all you've ever wanted. But now you're walking back on every single word. You say there's no one else, but I have never been easily fooled. You're breaking my heart again. Honey, there's a million boys like him, and only one me. Stop trying to believe that you're...
Cool. Very nice indeed. Okay, so yeah, there are lots of conflicting advice. I think that's what's interesting here is like there's everybody's opinions and they all conflict with each other. That's where we are with mixing. You know, one person's too loud is not loud enough. One person's no reverb. The other person's too much reverb. This is really where personal touch. This is where you come in when you're mixing, where you insert your own personality. I do think there's more automation stuff to be done, but the balances are good. I would get in there and use the revolver on the vocals and give it a little bit more reverb, but we're basically done. This is the shape of the mix. It's going to be more about automation and fine tuning. So thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you, McDSP, for doing the giveaway with us. That's absolutely amazing. I really appreciate it. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing. If you didn't watch from the beginning, go back and watch from the beginning. Congratulations to all of the winners. Oh, and please leave comments and questions, etc. That would be absolutely marvelous. Have a wonderful time recording and mixing, and I'll see you all again very soon, like Thursday.